So welcome to Performance Athletics. I thank you for attending my event virtually through Zoom. I'm Gabrielle Levison, and I have two children who I've been home with up until now. I moved to North Coventry 7 years ago from Bucks County when I started my family with my husband. And I've been strength training now for 4 years. It has undoubtedly been one of the best decisions I've made for myself, and I started on this journey for many reasons. So growing up really skinny, everyone used to make negative comments about my weight and not eating enough in their opinion. It made me feel uncomfortable and self-conscious about my body. Then fast forward to having children and gaining upwards to 50 pounds each time, and then I was feeling the emotions on the other end of the spectrum. So I've approached strength training with two very different goals. One, losing body fat, and two, adding healthy lean mass. Ever since I can remember, since high school, I suffered from tremendous persistent upper back pain. Then after having Luke, my first child, I started experiencing knee pain. As any of us know, living with any kind of pain on a daily basis can be exhausting. With my strength training though, both are gone and I don't live in any kind of pain. So it has without a doubt made everyday life and everyday activities, the day-to-day grind with children, so much easier. It's been because of these two goals I set for myself that I then realized I truly felt amazing, both physically and mentally, during the process of meeting them. I'm more confident, I'm more resilient to extreme stress, and more sure of myself than I've ever been. Think to yourself, after having children, maybe you're just not as self-confident, you don't feel as great about yourself because your body's changed, and you might be a little bit more self-conscious. When you're strength training and you're lifting weight and lifting more weight each week or each month, and you're accomplishing these small new goals, it really increases and helps with confidence and self-esteem. You view yourself in a better light, you just start feeling better about yourself. And seeing what your body is capable of when lifting, it's really the best feeling in the world. When I'm lifting, I feel powerful, strong, invincible. And that then has translated into my daily life, especially as a mom. All my responsibilities as a mom, and any of you, you might have other full-time jobs outside the home besides taking care of your kids. And as we all know, with any type of regular physical activity or regular exercise routine, it helps with a positive mood and outlook on life. Strength training also promotes better sleep. I know when I just had Luke, so I started training when he was 3 years old, I was always exhausted from the time I woke up till the time I went to bed, and even taking naps. I never got any relief from taking naps. And then with Sienna, it has not been like that. I don't take naps. I wake up refreshed. I get a better night's rest. And it's really because of the strength training. The strength training gives me the energy I need to go about my day and get what I need to get done. And the increase in confidence and self-esteem, the better sleep and more positive mood, those all contribute to just mental strength to deal with extreme stress. Strength training, I think, also helps with any emotional health problems people may have, such as depression, anxiety, and it also just helps with general stress. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to take your stress away completely. That's not realistic, but especially with children and staying at home with them, things can get overwhelming quickly during a day, so it helps with that. But if any moms know of other friends who suffered from postpartum depression, I did after Sienna, and instead of immediately going to medication as a fix for it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna see if my strength training will help. And it really did. It got me through that difficult time, and I'm so glad that I used that to help me with that. So now let's get into how does nutrition play an important role in one's training. So before we get into this, I just want to say nutrition is a complex topic. You clearly have, basic nutrition about the food and macros and total calories and things like that, but you also have the emotional and mental side to it. So we'll just touch upon some things for the purpose of this event. But in the beginning, if you have the resources to hire a registered dietitian, I highly recommend it. But if a registered dietitian is not an option, I did find something, free online resource with the Department of Agriculture at nutrition.gov. And they have tools for assessing food intake and physical activity, as well as other resources, including recipes. And I thought that was really great. So I think it's worth the time to check it out. So without proper nutrition, your training will mean nothing. And it's really not about one macro contributing to weight gain. It's about energy and balance. So the total calories that you're taking in a day. So if your goal is to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit, where the energy you take in has to be less than what you're expending. Conversely, if you're trying to gain weight, you have to be in a caloric surplus, where the energy you take in is greater than your energy expenditure. With nutrition, what I would tell a client is try to aim for consistency over perfection. Because that one indulgent day of eating, say around the holidays, my favorite is Thanksgiving, that one day won't kill your progress made in the kitchen and in the gym. If someone's starting new with a new diet routine or a new training routine, my recommendation would not to be change everything all at once, because I think that's setting yourself up for failure. It's very overwhelming if you're going to change everything at once. So my encouragement would be to start with getting your protein requirements in a day. Then once you feel comfortable with that, factor in getting your total calories for training and non-training days. And then last but not least, factor in fats and carbs. And then, as I mentioned in the beginning of the nutrition part, that there's the emotional and mental aspect to eating, that we eat for physical hunger, and then we also eat for emotions, whether they're negative or positive. Are you eating because you're happy or sad or stressed, or eating for physical hunger? Then it's important to become aware of trigger situations for yourself. So that could be just general stress, maybe social events like parties, or maybe the pressure of family and friends. And then once the emotionally charged event happens, that's where we need to insert proactive behaviors, because it's important to remember at the end of the day, it's not the eating and the emotions that are the problem. Those are very normal, and that's part of being human. It's the maladaptive coping mechanisms that we use to deal with how we're feeling and the emotions that we're processing. So I think women can lift heavy just like men do. If you can and if you want to, why not? If you can't for past injury reasons, or maybe current physical limitations, or you're a little apprehensive, intimidated, nervous, that's okay too. We'll dial it back while still getting results. But with that said, I hope that you wouldn't let gender or myths that you hear deter you from wanting to try lifting heavy. And one such said myth would be that women get bulky from lifting weights. It's just, women don't have the hormones, one, for it. Two, you would have to train 5 to 7 days a week. It's the nutrition part. If you really want to get lean and put on muscle for it to shine, you have to be really disciplined and consistent with your nutrition. Going back to if someone's feeling a little apprehensive about lifting heavy, or just getting started lifting in general. I mean, I felt that way in the beginning. I even told my trainer, like, I'm kind of nervous. I'm intimidated to be in the gym with other athletes and other people. And I don't even know if I can lift the barbell. So those feelings are normal and okay, because I felt them. But he taught me technique. I learned the lifts and the movement patterns. I did them well, and I successfully completed everything. Like I went through with it, and I could see that I could lift the barbell. And again, that helped with my self-confidence. And it's really just, it's the best feeling. You might feel a little unsure of yourself in the beginning, but then you come out on the other side stronger than you were before. I also really love compound lifts over isolation exercises if your goal is to train for hypertrophy and maximal strength like I do. So I train to put on muscle and increase muscle size, and maximal strength, trying to lift as much as I can for 1 rep, so my 1 rep max. If you can only make it in 2 days a week, then we want to target as many muscle groups as we can. So it's great for people who are short on time. Of course, we'll add in accessory and assistant work with isolation exercises like, as an example, bicep curls and calf raises, things like that. But I really love the total body movements. I think they're really great. And just like with nutrition that we talked about, same goes for training. You're going to aim for consistency over perfection, because some days your motivation will be limited. You might not want to show up, but I encourage you to show up anyway and just get moving. I don't fit my workouts into my life. I do it the other way around. So if I have specific things for that week, I know I'm training 3 days a week. So I rearrange the rest of my life around my workouts so that they're always consistent, so I'm not missing them. The many physical health benefits to strength training. So 1, it's great for your bones. It will reduce the likelihood of osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis, which is essentially just the breakdown within your bones. So you're losing bone mass and density, both go down. So now as women get older, we have less new bone formation and then the increase of removal of old bone. Strength training allows for new bone formation because of the stress placed on the musculoskeletal system. So weight-bearing exercises promote bone stress, which promote new bone formation. Next, your overall strength will increase. If you are just starting off, we'll start you low. I've started someone off with just 1 set of 8 to 10 exercises, but we gradually increased her weight, and over time, she could lift more. And each week, each month, each cycle, you'll be lifting more. And then depending on your current fitness level, like I said, I've started someone off with just 1 set. And that's because you don't want to start off with having debilitating soreness. Your muscular endurance will increase as well. So as the weeks and months go by, we'll be increasing your training volume, which is number of sets and number of reps that you're doing, so that over longer periods of time, you'll be able to lift more and more. Things like blood pressure, blood sugar levels, cholesterol levels, they all just get better. They get into healthier ranges. It's important to remember that the scale weight, I think society places too much emphasis on scale weight, that number. And it's important to know with the strength training, you are altering your body composition. So body fat in relation to lean mass that you have. And like I said earlier, I think that there's just no quick fix or quick magic pill to take for quick results. I know that number might go down as quickly as you would like, but it takes time to change body composition. So in the meantime, instead of focusing on that number on the scale, there are other ways to gauge and track your progress. 1, just how clothes fit, how you look in the mirror with your clothes, without your clothes, skin fold measurements. We can take skin fold measurements, circumference measurements of certain body parts and track that progress, as well as waist to hip ratio. And I think important to remember as well is that, so you might have someone who's prior to strength training, never strength trained before, they have their scale weight, but they have more body fat compared to lean mass. And then this person starts to strength train and say they're good with nutrition and they consistently get their workouts in, and they're changing their composition. They're adding more muscle while decreasing fat. that scale number will go up, but they'll look completely different, and they'll be stronger and they'll be leaner. So I think as society, and just we should try to place a little bit less focus on that scale and focus on other ways to gauge our progress. And last but not least, so next steps, time to think about what type of action you want to take to feel even better. How do you want to change your health and fitness levels? We could discuss at a later time and discuss further in greater detail, like my approach to program design and the beginning steps of what training would look like with me. I did have that in the presentation, but it just was too long. So if you want to reach out to me with questions or comments or talk about different areas in greater detail, I would be more than happy to do that one-on-one in whatever type of environment you would like, virtually, in person, email, anything. And I just want to thank you so much for listening. I hope to see some of you soon. And